You're probably asking, can a CPA give financial advice? That's a great question that we're going to address in this video, because what financial advice can they give and what can they not give? Stay tuned. There is no doubt that a CPA can be essential in your life. But what does a CPA actually do? Do they give good overall financial advice, or are they just meant for taxes? Well, the thing is that there are people listening to about financial advice, and a CPA may not be one of them, and here's why. And by the way, at the end, I'm going to talk to you who gives you the best financial advice as well. So a CPA is basically an accountant, right? A CPA is somebody who actually gives you advice, but it's more tax advice. I've seen CPAs and other accountants try to give basic blank financial advice, and that's fantastic. But I'm here to tell you they are not trained, nor are they really the type of people you should be going to for just general financial advice. You know, if you want investing advice, a CPA will, if they're trying to stay within the legal limits, they will tell you they are not a financial advisor, they're not an investment advisor. They are simply there to help you with tax advice, right? And by the way, that's essential. You should have a great CPA on your team to help you with that. And if they're not a good accountant or CPA that understands, I'm not even talking about a passive CPA that just tells you what your tax bill is at the end of the year, but somebody who actually strategizes with you throughout the year so you get the max tax benefits possible, especially if you're a business owner, a CPA is an essential member of your team. But remember, the CPA is not your end-all advice for financial advice. You've got to be very careful because they have their own biases, their own slants. And many CPAs I know come from that one little lens of just tax savings. It's like the saying you always hear about, is that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. To a CPA, everything looks like tax savings. For example, when I interview a CPA, especially when I'm looking for a good one on not just the tax side, but even to see if our philosophies will align a little bit, I will ask them, I said, what do you think about IRAs and 401ks? Now, the average accountant or even the average CPA will tell you, they'll say, oh, I love them because you get tax breaks. Now, if they say that, they are lying. Just so you're aware, 401ks and IRAs only delay your taxes for the future. There is zero tax advantage to an IRA or a 401k. They just push it off to a future date. You get taxed down the road. CPAs and accountants love it because if you put money in those IRAs and 401ks, you get a tax deduction, right? And really, it's not even a tax deduction, it's an income deduction. So when you show less income, as a result, you pay less taxes today. So a CPA is kind of like delaying the inevitable. It's kind of like the doctor just prescribes you some medication, but they fail to tell you about all the symptoms and side effects you're going to have, and that your life is going to essentially suck, and then you're going to be breathing out of a tube or whatever the rest of your life, and then you're going to have to be on more medications. They won't warn you of that. A bad or an average CPA or accountant will tell you, hey, you should put money in a 401k or an IRA because it gives you tax advantages. No, they do not. Now, a Roth, yes, but there's no advantage to CPAs to tell you about that because you don't get any real tax advantage right now. But they might offer the Roth IRA as an option. But most of the time they're going to say, yeah, put money in an IRA. So if I'm looking to hire a CPA and I ask them that question about 401ks and IRAs, should I do them? A good one will say this. They'll say, you know what? I'm not a financial advisor. I can't really give you that advice. I can tell you, of course, you get a tax deduction from it. That's a good answer. Now, even better, a bonus is if I hear them say, honestly, I don't think IRAs and 401ks really give you any real advantage because you're going to get taxed someday. But they can work in some situations and other situations not. Even better. Those are the ones I like. But again, I'm not taking advice from that CPA. I'm not taking all this general financial advice from them because, again, they're looking just from that narrow lens of what reduces my tax burden. I want that, but I don't want that for all of my money because the tax tail should not wag the dog here, right? We should not be doing all of these things just so we can get a tax deduction because they might be a bad investment or something that can create more issues down the road if we're just trying to save on taxes. Make sense? Now, I will say this is a little bonus for you too. Beware of CPAs that have additional letters behind their names. If they're also a CFP, like a certified financial planner, maybe they're also an attorney or a tax attorney doing this and this and this. I will tell you this, the more designations they have behind their name, the more letters they put behind their name, the more that they're probably more of a jack of all trades, an expert at none, right? Because they're trying to do all these things, they're trying to get all these accreditations, but you might think you're getting well-rounded advice, but really they're just scraping the surface on many different areas. You want someone who has knowledge that goes deep into their expertise. So more letters behind their name actually is not a good thing in my opinion. It's actually a worse thing. And I've actually known financial advisors, they're like, oh, I can also do your taxes. Oh, and I'm an attorney, so I can also help you do this and this and this. Those people will not give you good service because they will not go deep in their knowledge. They can't keep up with everything. You want somebody who does specialize in their field and they're good at it. So just be aware, Don't go for somebody who has got multiple licenses in different types of industries. If it's all in the same one, like if it's a CPA that also has like other designations or an EA and all yada, 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 all that stuff, great. But if it's somebody who's trying to be other things, other professions, and maybe they're even selling cars on the side, be aware of their advice. So the better option is, can you have a financial expert in your world that also works with a CPA, right? Do we have somebody who can actually work with you on that? So a good financial advisor will also work with your CPA in tandem, right? They'll say, great, how can we make it a line where you do save on taxes and you get good financial advice? But here's the warning. Financial advisors also can have their own biases that could actually conflict with your CPA, and or even if they align with your CPA, may not be in your best interest. For example, I'm wearing this shirt because this is what I learned when I was a financial advisor over 20 years ago, is that I was paid to sell you crap, not necessarily to make you more money. Of course, in an ideal world, I wanted to make my clients more money. I wanted my clients to be successful. But the problem was this, is that as a financial advisor, I was paid based on the recommendations I gave. So if they went and put their money in that annuity, whether it's a variable, fixed, or index, whatever it was, I got paid certain amounts. And some companies and some products would pay me more than others. Even though I didn't want to be influenced by it, I was still influenced because some of them would pay more money. And so if I'm thinking about all things being equal, why not offer the one that pays me more money, right? But what if they're not equal? What if it's just like, well, this one could be better, but this one pays a lot more. It's still good, but it's just not the best. I'll do that. And by the way, just so you know, like I now, even though I'm no longer in that financial advisor world as much, I do hold an insurance license, like a life insurance license and health. Still, I now go for what's always best for the client, right? Like what pays them the most money versus paying me the most money. Because I just don't need the money anymore, right? I've already become independently wealthy because I didn't follow the advice of financial advisors, including my own advice. I started doing the opposite. So that's why I come from that perspective, because I was able to retire by doing the opposite of advice that financial advisors give. So just be aware that even if you have a financial advisor on your team, and even if they work well with a CPA or an accountant on your team, still they can both be brainwashed into the traditional stuff of save your money in mutual funds, save forever, put in those IRAs or those 401ks or those Roth IRAs, and just throw it in the stock market. And hopefully at some point you'll have enough to retire someday. But the truth is, the stats have said people are not retiring well. Even if they do retire, they're living on a very meager fixed budget, right? They're trying to live on very, very little means, not having the true financial freedom that most people picture when they see those little retirement brochures that have the tan couple, with a full head of white hair, flowing hair, sitting on a beach, and they look so beautiful. And you think, my goodness, are they even really in their 60s and 70s? They look like they're in their 50s, but how they look so good? Well, that's why, because they're trying to sell you the brochure, sell you the image, the dream. Yet the dream, the reality is like, instead of living on a beach, like in Hawaii, you can't afford that Hawaiian beach, and so you end up living on a beach that's in freaking like, who knows, in the cheapest part of Mexico, or maybe it's on a beach up in Maine in the middle of winter, and you're like, man, it's dang cold. You're like, I don't care, it's free, because it's a free public beach that I was able to go to, right? That's what it's like. So you gotta be aware of that advice. So the best advice I can give you right now is, again, I don't recommend going for CPA for financial advice. That's not a good place to go, other than tax help. The best place to go for advice is for people that are doing the very things that you want to do yourself, right? If they have a life of freedom, and a true life of freedom, I will tell you, most of the influencers, even social media, it's hard to tell, but most of them, they're trying to show off their cars and their fancy jets and all this kind of stuff. That's not financial freedom, guys. That's a game. They're trying to make you look like it. Freedom has nothing to do with the stuff that you own and buy. That's what young kids go for. They get duped into that, right? The 18-year-olds buy into that crap. That's not what works, guys. The stuff that works is, how do I feel free? Am I able to walk away from my business at any time? I will tell you, most of the people out there that are trying to sell you on that dream, if they were to shut down their business today, they'd probably be just about as broke as you and I are. The people that truly do it, that have freedom, and this is what I've learned, are those that have real passive income. They have income coming in regardless of their businesses or their jobs, right? They're able to have that freedom because they're able to just have the money coming in all the time. I love to do that stuff. Now, I'm not talking about all these investments. We have other videos on this channel, so subscribe to our channel so you can find those. But we have other investments we talk about that way. But beware of that advice. So I always go for advice of people that I know that have been there, done that, and still doing it today. They're not just a has-been who did it one time, but they can't replicate it. Somebody who's actually doing it over and over and over in their life. And a bonus, even better if they've done it for other people too. They can help other people do it to where it's not just a one-time thing or a personality type of thing, right? Now you know you've got something. This is why our channel exists, by the way, just so you know, because I've actually been able to do it twice because I screwed up the first time. I had to do it a second time to become financially free, and I was able to do it still by the time I was 39 years old. You can do that too. Now, I can't make any promises that you're gonna do it by 39 because you might be 38. There may not be any way you're gonna do it by the time you're 39. It might take into your 40s or 50s, but you can do it a heck of a lot faster when you actually apply the right principles. And so find the advice from those that have actually been there, done that, and still doing it today, and then try to replicate that. Follow their example, and especially if they have other people that can also replicate that success too. As I mentioned, if you wanna be able to figure out how to do that, check out there's other videos here that can help you be able to accomplish the same thing in your life. Be sure to subscribe to our Money Ripples channel right now.